and welcome to Band Bmonday, the 12th installment of the series released on Mondays, where I attempt to become a little bit less of a poser by studying a band, and that band this week is Mauled by Kittens, or MBK. In the last installment of Band Bmonday, we did Witch Vomit and Vomit Forth, Witch Vomit Forth, and today was going to be another installment where I did two bands, but I kind of had too many options. Do I do Graven Mauled by Kittens? Do I just do Mauled by Kittens? You know, the band that released that wonderful Purple album. Darth Maul jokes would have been abundant, but the more I thought about it, the more that I realized Mauled by Kittens is a group that I just want to focus on by themselves. In fact, I was looking at this graphic that I was making for the 13th episode of Band Bmonday, and it occurred to me that some things are meant to just be memes and not full videos. So we're going to return to just focusing on a single band that I feel deserves a little bit more love and exposure. Or at least as much exposure as I can provide with my average view count of 25 to 40. With that said, let's talk about cats. Like any other brutal death metal band, MBK is delightful and humorous. Now, an initial Google search led me to believe that they were from California. However, Metal Archives tells me that they are actually from Ozu, Japan, which is just about a 35-minute boat ride from the island of Aoshima, where the cat population is 6 times greater than that of the humans. I wonder if they ever have any rugby matches with that Snake Island in Brazil. They have released the demo Hairball Regurgitation in 2021, and this was quickly followed up in 2022 by the full-length Meowmageddon that was featured in our thumbnail. Now let's take a look at the track listing for Meowmageddon. We have the songs Meow, Mauled by Kittens, Meowmageddon, which I keep misspelling. Apparently it is 2 G's and not 2 D's. Cuddlebugs, cuddle again, 2 D's. Antagonizing Hiss, Abominable Purr, Hairball Regurgitation, Murder Mittens, Scratch Post Execution, Litterbox Asphyxiation, Kitten in the Box, Meow Mix, and Desolating Meows of Agony. The intro track sets us up with this apocalyptic landscape, where you can hear the chanting meows in the foreground and the more distant caterwauling in the background, telling us that this album is painting the picture of a world that is one that spells doom for man and mouse alike. We then have the eponymous MBK track, which, if I were to have to assign a vibe to it, I would say it's kind of like Pit of Zombies by Cannibal Corpse, but this time, the zombies are felines, which to some may sound like a nightmare, but to those of us that count cats among our greatest friends, I would say that it sounds more like a welcome escape from reality. It is a very fast death metal song that has vocals that I think would be at home in some of the swampier Maggot Stomp releases. In one spoken word portion, we hear the bold claim that MBK is the heaviest band on Spotify. You want to be careful with things like that. You don't want to rile up the Swifties. They might have something to say. Now, in Meowmageddon, we get into some lore here. We are introduced to the Dark Purr Army, which is hellbent on bringing about the total darkness. They seem to be speaking of Meowmageddon and what they are planning to do within it, as if it's an event like Ragnarok that has been foretold. Although I have to wonder, is it a future event, or is it something that is currently happening already from the point of view of cats? Like literally right here in our world is Catmageddon happening, because from the point of view of my cat, the household was conquered years ago. Track 4, Cuddlebugs, gets very deep into what it is that cats actually do, specifically poops, eats, sleeps, and vomits. It's bingo. We then get into the song Antagonizing Hiss, which if you look at the lyrics here and you know anything about Filthy Frank, you know that they're making that channel proud. Things take a turn for the more sinister in Abominable Purr, where we're introduced to Meow Tan, and those that fall victim to the purr will become victims to Meow Tan, which might be like Mewtwo, but in the summer. Because tanning bed. Because it's not funny, because he who feels the purr will turn into a kitty witty. He who feels the purr will puke the hairball, will chase around the laser. Chase the laser. That sounds life-changing. Charming, even. Again, for those that like cats, this is welcome. This sounds phenomenal. I'm more than a fan of Garfield. I want to become Garfield. That's why I'm fat and I'm lazy. Garfield has been my primary role model since I was like 8. Skip down a little bit here to Scratch Post Execution. This is one of those titles of a song that really gets my imagination going. So, they're talking about using the scratching post for executing people or executing the scratching post. What did the scratching post do to make you execute it? But that's what cats are doing, right? They just keep scratching those things until they essentially bleed to death. They bleed carpet or cardboard. And then it's over. You throw it out, you get a new one. At least I hope you do. My parents don't have cats, but they're pack rats. If they did have a cat, they would probably have the same scratching post since 1974. You think I'm joking, but there's actually a couch in my parents' basement. I found pictures of it from 60s photo albums. I was born in 91, and that's like my couch. I can't imagine loving a couch that much. I don't care if like John Lennon and the Pope simultaneously died on that couch and autographed it after they died. I'm not keeping the fucking couch. By the way, murder mittens, nothing to do with O.J. Simpson. Then you have litter box asphyxiation, which, honest to goodness, that is the hardest of all the songs in my opinion. Not from a musical standpoint necessarily, but just the title alone. I mean, that rivals the worst kind of fates that befall people in a Cannibal Corpse album, right? Asphyxiated by litter. Kitten in the box? Is the cat in the box? Is it alive? Is it dead? You know? Philosophical questions. But it is a very nice song to listen to. It's got kind of a breakdown of sorts in it. Nice and chunky. My favorite song on the album, though, by far, is Meow Mix. It is exactly what the title suggests. I'm not going to spoil it. Just go listen to Meow Mix. And we end with Desolating Muse of Agony, which goes back to the intro, with the caterwauling in the background, the desolation, but this time with the human vocals on top of it. And all in all, it comes together telling a pretty good story about Meowmageddon and the wonderful, fluffy fate that awaits us all. Or maybe it's not meant to be wonderful, but, you know, different strokes for different posts. Different scratches for different folks. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and give Mauled by Kittens a solid good out of 10. There will be a link to their Bandcamp and or Spotify and other such sundry items below. And just want to say that my own cat Veronica gives them a good out of 10 as well. You might notice that ironically this is one of the few videos I've made that doesn't have Veronica in it. That is because she, along with a couple of the other neighborhood cats, have all gathered around the base of my toilet in order to summon Shrek from the mushrooms that are growing there. This has been Band Bmonday number 12. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, follow on the Instagram. And it's about a month too late to say this, but screw it. Meowie New Year to you all. It has been 0 days since our last stepping in cat puke incident.